You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from Nvidia to VIX and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means we are back once again. It is time for your Hot Options Report for Wednesday, January 14th. My name, of course, Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com, as well as from the network. Over a dozen shows on the network. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And, of course, if you want to check out all the data we don't have a chance to get to on the show, you want to carve up the entire options market, however you choose, the HotOptionsReport.com. The place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. You can't beat the data. You sure as heck can't beat the price. The HotOptionsReport.com is the place to go as we go out to see, was it a wild day in the options market on Wednesday, January 14th? The answer was it was respectable, at least to break in to the top 10. We'll see how it looks as we get towards the top of the list. On number 10 is our old pal Softy, giving back some to the market gods today. 459.38 is where it closed, off $11.29, putting up 568,000 contracts. For the number 10 spot, the hot option in Mr. Softy today, 26,000 of the par puts, the 500 puts. Obviously, these are pretty juicy. Average price for these, $41.27. Interestingly enough, that is opening flow. So we have opening flow on the par puts expiring this Friday. A wild way to start our top 10 countdown, listener. Let's see what we have at number 9. It's our old pal, Mr. Netflix. Netflix selling off today as well. $88.53 is where it closed, off $1.79, or nearly 2%, putting up 603,000 contracts. For the number 9 spot, the hot option in Netflix today, 48,000 of the 92 halves. So out of the money calls. Average price for these, 23 cents. Looks like paper might have been selling these. There is OI here, so there is a good chance that paper was bailing on these, trying to get what they had left. In this case, 23 cents as we keep climbing to good old AMD, listeners. AMD coming in at number 8, 637,000 contracts on the tape. AMD bucking the tech wreck out there on the street today, actually rallying, closing 223.60, up $2.63, or about 1.2%. Again, for 637,000 contracts. And the number 8 spot, the hot option in AMD today, 34,000 of the 225s. Average price for these, $2.50. Those were looking decent to end the day, so we'll see. Keep an eye on these as the week continues. This was opening flow. You like those, listeners? Would you be a buyer, or are you selling the heck out of those as we keep climbing to number 7, listeners? Another name that wasn't climbing, they were very much part of the tech wreck today. This is Meta, 615.5, off about 15.5, or about 2.5%, putting up 641,000 contracts. For the number 7 spot and the hot option in Meta today, 33,000 of the 670 puts. Once again, we're looking at pretty far in the money puts. Obviously pretty meaty as well. $53.32 was the average price. These were opening as well. So once again, we're seeing some interesting in the money put opening paper on a hot name as we keep climbing to number 6, listeners. Another hot tech name, it's Intel. Intel also rallying today as well, in spite of the red across the screens out there today. 48.72 is where the stock went out, up $1.43, putting up 783,000 contracts. For the number 6 spot, the hot option in Intel today, 45,000 of the Jan 50s. We've been talking about these all week long. They went up today, average price 68 cents. Now, there is OI on this strike, so this is potentially closing. Someone Maybe someone who opened earlier this week deciding to get the heck out of Dodge. They could be adding on as well. We will find out as we keep an eye on these throughout the rest of the week as we keep climbing to number 5. Another name that got sucked down a bit in the tech wreck today. It was the fruit company, aka Apple, closing 260, pretty much exactly, 260.01 to be precise, off of $1.04 today, putting up 815,000 contracts for the number 5 spot out there today. The hot option in the fruit company, 71,000 of the 260 calls, so a straight at the money call. Average price for these, $1.68. This was opening flow, so again, it's up to you whether you like these or would you be a seller. As we keep climbing to number 4, a name that was climbing pretty hard today, a name that's very much in the crosshairs for a lot of folks this year to see where the crypto market is headed. Yes, it's Strategy. MSTR coming in number 4, 835,000 contracts today, closing 179.33, up 6 1/3 or 3.6%. So a hot day out there for MSTR, even if they did close off their highs of the day, still managing to rally today. The hot option in MSTR, 33,000 of the 190s. Average price for these, $3.04. Now, before you say, whoa, that's wild, over $10 out of the money calls, they did get there earlier in the morning. They actually got to 190.20. So they were, for a very brief moment, in the money. So maybe that changes your opinion on the $3.04. They certainly weren't trading for $3.04 at the end of the day, listeners. As we keep climbing to number 3, we're going out to div play land again, it seems, aka Freeport McMoran today, ticker symbol FCX, closing 60.35, up about $1 or nearly 2%, putting up 1.37 million contracts for the number 3 spot. Once again, it is a div play, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. The hot option today was the 40s, going up about 250,000 times, which makes sense, $20 in the money calls. If you know div plays, you know, listeners, as we keep climbing. To number 2, it's our old pal Tesla. Were they climbing today? No, not at all. They sold off $8.06 to close 439.14. So those 4 halves we've been talking about earlier this week, not looking so great today. Putting up 1.68 million contracts for the number 2 spot today was Tesla, the hot option out there today, 80,000 of the 440. So we're still talking upside, but perhaps a wee bit more realistic strike. Average price for these, $5.12. So once again, they are not giving these away. Would you be ponying up $5.12 for some 440s, or would you be selling the heck out of those, listeners? Either way, it is time to go to the top of our list. What is holding down the number 1 spot again today? It's Nvidia. Nvidia selling off today as well, 183.14, off 2 2/3 or nearly 1.5%, putting up 1.75 million contracts. So overall, kind of a light volume day for Nvidia. The hot option, 76,000 of the 185s. Average price for these, $1.05, listeners. Again, a couple dollars out of the money, $1.05. Would you be a buyer or a seller of these calls with a couple of sessions left to go? Hit us up. Let us know. That is going to do it for your hot options report for Wednesday, January 14th. Remember, check out our friends over there at thehotoptionsreport.com if you want to kick the tires and light the fires on your own top 10s. Maybe you want to look at index vol. Maybe you want to look at IBIT. Whatever you want to look at out there, listeners. It's all there for you. Thehotoptionsreport.com. Back again tomorrow for all of our content on the network, including the option block with the Flow Master, This Week in Futures Options, a special guest, Rich Excel. And then we're back after the closing bell, another episode of the Hot Options Report. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.